and today we're talking about killifish. Killifish come in a wide variety of brilliant, vibrant colors such as green, blue, gold, orange, red, and sometimes silver or brown. Now, the males are typically much brighter and more vibrant than the females. The females, depending on which species you have, are typically paler or maybe a brownish in color. Now, there are over 1,000 different species of killifish, and most of the species come from small ponds and streams, although there are actually a few marine species. Unfortunately, many of the species are becoming endangered because of losing their habitats. But thanks to the many killifish enthusiasts out there, these beautiful species may have a chance to survive. Now, most species of killifish tend to be considered very hardy fish. They can actually survive in pretty poor water conditions, which makes them optimal candidates for beginners. And for this reason, and because many of the species can be kept in relatively small tanks of 20 gallons or less, they are on the rise in popularity. Now, most species of killifish do prefer softer, more acidic to neutral waters with a pH between 6 and 7. And they also like cooler temperatures ranging between 68 and 75 degrees, which makes it even better because you might not have to go out and buy a heater for them. In fact, with the killifish aquarium, for most species, you really don't want that temperature getting too high. Now, killifish tend to be smaller fish, with the average killies being only between 1.5 to 2 inches. But there are larger species, such as the golden wonder, that gets around 4 inches, and the largest species of killifish can get up to about 6 inches long. So even the largest species is still relatively small. Now, most killifish are freshwater, but there are actually a few types of marine killies. These killies do require much larger tanks, but they aren't very common and they will be much more difficult to be able to find. Now, most types of killifish do best in species-only tanks. A lot of them are known to have sort of aggressive tendencies. So you'll often see breeders keeping them in 3 to 5 gallon tanks in pairs. Now, males do tend to be very aggressive breeders, so ideally you would want to have more than one female to kind of evenly disperse some of that aggressiveness. Now, unfortunately, the majority of pet stores that I've encountered, along with many breeders out there, will only sell them in pairs, so it can be more difficult to obtain multiple females per male. Now, a very important thing to remember when you are keeping killies is that you want to make sure that you have a very tightly fitted lid on your tank. Killies are notorious for jumping out of tanks. So again, you will want to make sure that you have a very secure lid. Also, when you're setting up your tank, you'll want to keep in mind that killifish generally do not like a lot of bright lights, and they enjoy having lots of places to hide and tend to do best in heavily planted tanks or tanks with a lot of decorations that they can hide in. Many hobbyists will actually put floating plants into their aquarium to help diffuse some of that light and make their tanks a more natural type of environment for their killies. Now, killifish are considered insectivores, so they will need to be fed a very high quality, high protein diet. And unfortunately, they might not always readily accept pellets and flakes. Killifish tend to do best when they're on live or frozen foods. So you'll want to add things into their diet such as brine shrimp, bloodworms, tubifex worms, mysis shrimp, or other live foods. So anyway, guys, that's all I really have for y'all today. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!